this episode of Riff and Rock Music Talk, Corey, Ryan, and Alex do a triple threat on a few albums. We also talk about Genesis for some reason. Find out how that came on Riff and Rock Music Talk.
Ryan, do you not like Fiona Apple?
She's alright, she's talented. In that kind of
Her albums have long names.
they do.
Albums are fantastic. She's crazy as hell.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember when she got arrested in Texas?
What was it for? Like having weed or something?
Yeah, and she said they abused her or something, and then later she said that was a metaphor. I don't know. It was weird.
What?
I don't know. She said that she was abused in jail, and I guess her fans tried to take action about that because she said they had beaten her and stuff, and then she said no, it was a metaphor. She didn't mean that they literally beat her, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. She said that the sheriff that arrested her was going to go to hell and stuff. I don't know, it's weird.
Maybe that'll be the title of her new album is Back When I Was in the Jail in Texas, the sheriffs abused me, but not literally. It was more of a metaphor, but I'm really appreciative that my fans came out and supported me and wanted to sue the jail. But it's really okay. I have no bruises on me, but that guy sucks.
It's not long enough.
And then I had a tuna fish sandwich on rye, but the deli was out of Swiss cheese, which I thought was bullshit.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's still not long enough.
And then I found $5.
Yay!
All right, so Riff and Rock Music Talk coming to you from a basement and in Texas. This is
We're going international with it.
what?
We're going international.
This is just national.
Whatever, dude.
Corey's back with us. Corey, he writes things for the Houston Press, I think the name of it's called.
Yeah, that's right.
He such in-depth articles such as this album was great, but it still sounded like shit because the production was bad, and there are no original band members left in Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Yeah, it's that band has had over 100 people in it, I think.
Holy shit.
I clicked the link you sent that was here's the list of the former members. I think it was just a wiki page, and it's just lists of people and their dogs, and it was insane.
I don't think anybody's been in the band longer than a year at a time. I don't think they've ever had the same lineup from one year to the next.
Well, when they put out another album, we can critique it, but we do have 3 interesting albums to talk about. Guest's choice. What would you like to discuss first?
How about Like Clockwork?
So one of the albums we listened to was Like Clockwork, which is the new album from desert saloon rock band. That's what I always think when I think of them. Queens of the Stone Age. Features Josh Homme and then a bunch of people he fired at some point and rehired or something, and they produced 10 new songs.
Yeah. Like Clockwork.
So what did you guys think of Like Clockwork?
I thought it was okay. No, I'm a huge fan of Queens of the Stone Age. I really like their sound, how they play minor keys, and they're always really heavy.
Elton John was on this album.
And Elton John was on track 7. It's pretty sweet.
And Dave Grohl and Nick Oliveri, who used to be in the band, and then
then he got fired, then rehired.
Trent Reznor played the kick.
In between, had the SWAT team invade his house and stuff. And
Wait, what? Really?
No, yeah, he I don't know, he was holding his girlfriend hostage at gunpoint, and the SWAT team raided his house and he arrested him. But Josh Homme, and Josh Homme said that the reason he got kicked out in the first place was because he was abusive, and now I guess they made up. I don't know. It's weird. Jail changed him or something.
He was not abused in jail, metaphorically.
No, not at all.
Very literally.
And then Trent Reznor played the kick and snare for track 6. Not the rest of the drum kit, just the kick and snare.
I thought you did some Trent Reznor shit. He played drums?
Well, he did some vocals, but then also just kick and snare.
That's strange.
And former Mars Volta, One Day as a Lion, and Golden drummer John Theodore ended up on the last track as well. He is now the touring member. But Ryan, you were saying you're a fan of Queens of the Stone Age, right?
Yeah, ever since their first album came out, self-titled, I've been hooked. They're really heavy, and they make obscure songs.
And see, this is the first time I've actually, I think, listened to a Queens of the Stone Age album all the way through. I've had a couple of their other albums, and I've always got about halfway and went, I'm done. I'm not sure at first I don't know if I would have listened to this all the way through if I didn't have to for the show. But the more I listened to it, once, twice, and then I actually was voluntarily listening to it, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes.
What did you think, Corey?
I've done the same thing. Like for their old albums, I never really get through them all the way. I've never been a big fan at all. I find their sound a little bit like bland to me. Like, and the weird thing is that like so many people that are really into like experimental music love this band, and I guess like he gets these great guests on there and stuff, and I don't find them very exciting. So this record was the first time I really sat down with one, and I actually really liked this one. Like this one, and I've listened to their other stuff recently, and it still doesn't really connect with me, but this album does. Which is funny because I feel like a lot of fans of their old stuff don't like this new album. So
it just reminded me of, and I think this is sort of the sound most Queen's albums kind of usually pull off, is that dirty desert vibe, like the soundtrack to a shitty Rob Zombie movie, but the soundtrack's really good.
Yeah.
Where everyone's in a desert and then all these teenagers get killed in a 1972 Buick LeSabre or something. Isn't that what happens in most Rob Zombie movies?
I wouldn't know.
Oh.
I've never seen a Rob Zombie movie.
Well, I know there's usually old cars and some sand, and his wife gets naked periodically in them,
Okay.
and then some people die.
Even in the cartoon, I think that his wife got naked. El Super Beasto.
I was not familiar with that.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Animated movie. Rob Zombie did.
The album was very successful in what it was trying to set out to do, or I'm assuming what it set out to do, but had a very cool, consistent tone. Pretty dark and brooding. Like nothing really like specifically like cliche hard rock sounds. It all had sort of a unique sound, kind of a nice twisted vibe to it that sort of painted an image, kind of. And like I said, for me, kind of put me in that vibe of like I'm in this dirty, drab, dry environment where bad things and bad people are around.
Yeah. And to me, it sounded like the sophomore, what is it called, effort or album of Them Crooked Vultures, which Josh Homme and Dave Grohl were a part of. All they needed was John Paul Jones would have been their second one. But this is one of their more straightforward albums. Like they made two other like concept albums or songs for
the deaf. Yeah.
There's another one somewhere. But like this album didn't really have any like segues. It was just like, here's a song, you're gonna like it. Here's the next song. Boom. Drop the mic, leave. And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were y'all's favorite songs from this thing?
For me, definitely it was I Appear Missing. I thought that was just a really nice sort of atmospheric song. The follow-up, Like Clockwork, was also, those two songs together I thought was an excellent end to the album, but I Appear Missing just has its own fantastic feel and vibe to it. I first heard it live when he did the David Letterman stage set, and I think that was their closing song. It had this cool little animation going on in the background, and I thought that was just really well done and well executed, and then on the album as well, very well done and executed. Great mood and environment provided by the song.
Yeah, and my favorite song was If I Had a Tail, which is a 5-minute long just grungy, driving down the highway in the middle of the summer with sand all over your face kind of song.
See, it's a desert album.
It is. All of their songs.
I thought I really liked If I Had a Tail as well. I thought like that one has a late '70s Rolling Stones kind of swagger to it.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like that about it. And then the Vampire of Time and Memory, I think is what that one's called. That one really stood out to me too. That's one of the darker, more piano-based tracks, I guess. And
Right.
that one I really thought was great.
That was going into the album, my biggest concern was that some of the more ballady songs were going to come off really schlocky and stupid, which unfortunately can be a trope of hard rock albums where they try to do something melodic and it's just dumb. See most every ballad. See Cold November Rain by Guns N' Roses.
Oh yeah. But I think
Ryan's giving me a look.
Yeah.
Do you not like it when Slash kicks out from the chapel and just wails on a guitar solo?
I have that album over there.
it's better for Estranged is better. The video. Have y'all seen the video for Estranged?
For what?
Estranged, the other big ballad. It's like 10 minutes long.
No, I haven't.
That one's really great. Axel's like swimming with dolphins and shit on a boat. It's just insane. that's the best Guns N' Roses video. And it's literally 10 minutes long. He's like playing a piano in an empty house in the middle of the night in the rain. And it's like a sequel to November Rain's video.
Oh.
Because she's left him at this point. So
I thought she died in November Rain.
okay, so I guess she died, but the song is about her leaving him because it's estranged.
Maybe it's a
She's not
prequel.
dead. But no, so she died, and this is like him coping, I guess.
Oh.
Because,
And so he goes swim with dolphins.
Yeah, and they hang out with the dolphins, and it's really crazy. And it's got another. It slashes up there on a boat or something. It's like one of those moments.
I'm trying to envision any of this, and the only mental image I can come up with is just the stupidest thing in the world.
It really is. I think it was the most expensive music video ever made up to that point, too. Michael Jackson topped it with that Scream video where he's in space.
Oh yeah, Moonwalker, right? Or no?
No, it's called Scream. It's him and Janet Jackson, and they're like up in a spaceship.
So Ryan, you were saying we should play a clip.
Let's play a clip of "Estranged" by Guns N' Roses.
How about something from Queens of the Stone Age instead, so people don't have to listen to Estranged?
But they didn't. Queens of the Stone Age didn't make that song, so what are you doing?
Like Michael Jackson.
The vibe I get from that song is sort of like a half-drunk man swaggering down the road.
Or a completely drunk man crawling down the road.
There's a road involved, maybe a half-open dress shirt.
And tumbleweed. Lots of tumbleweed.
Yes. That album just successfully sets up that mood and environment like right off the bat, just dirty and filthy, and you want to take a shower. Any low points for anyone here?
I didn't have any. I don't have any complaints with it. I mean, I don't know. Towards the middle, like towards the end, but the second half of the middle, I guess, like the third quarter, it kind of drags a little bit. Then the ending is really good, so it's okay.
Right.
Yeah, I think the worst song of that album is Calopsia. It just kind of was like the plateau of the entire album, where you just couldn't wait for that song to end and the rest of the album to pick up.
You get to I Appear Missing. It's so good, so it makes up for everything.
Those two songs as a finale I thought were just so well executed. I'm having a hard time thinking of like an ending that just kind of closes out an album so well. I'm saying they're better closing songs, but just sort of as a duo, it just does such a great job of a nice little come down after the ruckus that you just ingested.
Yeah, very successful.
Yeah.
Actually, all the albums that we're talking about today have had like really great endings to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully, maybe after this, Them Crooked Vultures LP2.
Yeah, them cricketer vultures.
vultures. Them crookeder vultures.
Those guys. So would you guys recommend picking up Like Clockwork by Queens of the Stone Age?
I would say yeah. I mean, with iTunes, you can just get the best tracks, so that might be more worth it than buying the whole thing. But I don't know what the set is like. If you bought the whole thing, like what the packaging is like.
The CD packaging is really cheap. It just goes, if you want to see all the credits, go on our website.
Are you serious?
It's one piece of paper that has like the general gist of who's in the band, and for the rest of it is, for further credits, please consult our website.
Yeah, fuck that. Go get the best tracks off of iTunes. Like, don't pay for that. Come on.
I don't know if the vinyl's any better, but the CD definitely was very cheap packaging.
See, I don't understand that because in this day and age, like that's the only incentive to buy a CD. So you gotta like put some effort into that.
Yeah, but that's expensive to create that packaging, and that would raise the cost, and people don't buy CDs anymore.
Although I did get the standard version, not the deluxe version.
Oh, maybe the deluxe version has all the credits.
You pay $300 for the credit.
Deluxe version has the credits, but it gives you a little piece of paper that says go online to get the lyrics.
And then the Supreme Edition, whoa. I would actually wholeheartedly recommend picking up this album. If you're a fan of hard rock, you're definitely not going to be disappointed. I think, in general, very well done album, so it's worth the... I mean, how much is a CD? $10 for this standard edition? You're not going to go wrong. It's a good album to pick up.
And I also think that this album is suitable for all listeners, young and old, whether or not you're missing fingers, whether or not you misplaced your comb. You would like this album, so go out and buy it. Or steal it, whatever.
So, another album we listened to was Spooky Zombies and Frankenstein Monsters by a band from England called Black Sabbath.
Oh, yes.
They're an indie underground band featuring some old reality show star, Ozzy Osbourne, who decided he can make it as a musician.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure that while they're recording the album, he was dressed up as Captain Crunch.
Also, Tony Iommi, who was a great guitarist in the 80s, he did a lot of really big stuff then with Lita Ford.
Who?
Lita Ford.
Who's Lita Ford?
Lita Ford is, okay, she's an obscure, like, 80s metal star, sort of like Doro, and she was Tony Iommi's girlfriend, and he played guitar for her a lot. It doesn't work if you don't know who she is. The joke doesn't work.
I'm sorry.
You gotta look up some of her stuff. She has songs like Close My Eyes Forever.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's a cheesy name.
This album also features Brad Wilk, drummer of Rage Against the Machine, on
Audio Slave.
No, that wasn't a band.
No, it didn't happen. Well, it happened for about 3 songs. Other than that,
Yeah, I heard they did a song called Cochise, which was very good, and then they broke up.
Yeah. Chris Cornell ruined that band.
Funny enough, the actual name of this album is 13, which is the 19th album by Black Sabbath.
God damn it, how many albums have I heard by Black Sabbath?
You've probably heard 2. You've probably heard the first one.
No, the first 5 are hugely popular.
No, I've heard all of them, actually.
Oh, shit.
Jesus.
I know the one with the guy with the sword on the cover.
Yeah, Paranoid.
And then, what else? Did they do,
Master of Reality? Dehumanizer with Dio?
Did they do Led Zeppelin 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
Technical
Oh, yeah, the
Ecstasy,
song.
Never Say Die, Heaven and Hell, The Mob Rules.
But not all those feature Ozzy Osbourne. Some of those have Dio.
Roddy James Dio.
And then some have, what, the lead singer of Deep Purple?
And then Born Again is Ian Gillan from Deep Purple.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ Superstar.
Let's see, Seventh Star with Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple. Then there's the Tony Martin albums. There's The Eternal Idol, Headless Cross, the Tear album, and let's see.
You really know a lot about Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Black Sabbath fan.
Oh.
The next one was Dehumanizer with Dio again. And then the one after that was Cross Purposes with Tony Martin. And then the last one was with Tony Martin, produced by Body Count and featuring Ice-T. And it was called...
Oh boy, that's great. But so in what year did Tony Iommi lose his fingertips?
like 68 or something, before the band got together.
Oh really?
Well, I mean, I think the band was actually like getting together when it happened.
So he's made 19 albums without being able to feel.
And so Black Sabbath decided they were done being embarrassed by Ozzy Osbourne and went, fuck it, we can make a lot of money if he's on the cover. And so they made this album. And, well, I'll just start off by, all the lyrics were written by Geezer Butler. And I will say that whoever allowed Geezer Butler to write lyrics should be shot in the back of the head.
Yeah, he should stick to...
He wrote everything, though, when he was in the band, anyway, back during the Ozzy era in the 70s.
He wrote,
shit.
Well, then apparently he must have had a stroke or something, because it was just this is one time I was legitimately laughing out loud at what Ozzy was saying, and it wasn't just because it was completely inaudible gibberish. It's like, am I alive? Am I dead? I'm going to the store, buy some bread.
Wowee.
I'm losing the battle between the devil and God. That was a good one.
Here's another lyric. I'm your pariah for your desire. Ain't no messiah, just your pariah.
God damn it, Geezer Butler.
Nephodemic. That's all you need to say. Nephodemic.
The epidemic from a crystal life puts you in super overdrive. The methademic is so hard to hide, insanely starting with white eyes.
I keep thinking he's saying crystal light, like the stuff you put in water.
Yeah, crystal light.
Iced tea. Hallucinating in a chemical hell ain't my idea of having fun. Synthetic overload, you're under its spell. Your super nightmare has just begun.
That's why Ozzy started doing drugs, because he had to sing these songs.
How about the single, God is Dead? God is dead? God is dead. God is dead?
God is dead.
I don't believe that God is dead.
No, Corey, my understanding is you like this album.
No, I really like it.
Ryan, what did you think of spooky numbers that imply unlucky things?
So the way I listened to this album was I just
Did you try to take it seriously?
I made the entire album to one single file, and I just clicked to random spots, listened to like 10 seconds at a time, and it sounded pretty good. Admittedly, I skipped like half the words. Like Ozzy singing showed up every once in a while, but like the music, and then rocking out, it sounded like classic Black Sabbath, and I didn't mind it. But I don't think I could stand listening to the album from beginning to end.
I listened to the album from beginning to end, and I laughed quite a bit. It was just like, it legitimately felt like a bunch of old people phoning it in, and like, we know people will buy this. Even just right down to, and now I'm being a little mean, so everyone that's saying that I'm a jerk, like the fact that like you named the album 13, it's like they might as well just gotten Todd McFarlane to make the album, because like we need some cliche spooky things, and then we have songs like God is Dead and Damaged Soul and End of the Beginning. This is silly.
It's coming from the men that almost made metal.
Yeah, well, so that's the funny thing, is these guys essentially were one of the progenitors of heavy metal music, and now they could have potentially killed heavy metal music at the same time.
I don't know. They almost did it with, I guess, teaming up with Ice-T.
So I need you guys to defend this album before I verbally
I'll defend
parade it anymore.
I'll defend it. I love this album. It is. I'll give it criticisms. It's loud. It's way too loud. The compression is all fucked up. Thanks, Rick Rubin.
Yeah, thank you, Rick Rubin, for fucking more things up.
Thanks, Rick Rubin.
But aside from that, the lyrics, yeah, they're stupid. But we're dealing with metal here, so metal in general has really stupid lyrics. Even if you go back to like old Sabbath from like the '70s, or especially with Dio, like the lyrics are just retarded.
Don't
like
talk
fucking,
to strangers.
Yeah, I mean, like Dio's lyrics are just bad in general. So I don't have a problem with the lyrics because Ozzy saying like shit about the devil and stuff is like, yeah, that's Black Sabbath to me. But what I really love is the playing on it, and I don't think they phoned in the playing at all because I feel like they really, I feel like the songs do go on too long at times, but that's just being almost over ambitious because I feel like they put a lot of effort into this and like played out the songs almost too much because they wanted to put everything on there. I mean, this album's really long, but
Yeah.
Tony Iommi's solos are top notch, and so are his riffs. I mean, it's up there with some of the classic stuff that he's written. And Geezer Butler's bass playing is fantastic, and Ozzy actually is decently understandable and like not embarrassing himself.
I love that's a compliment of Ozzy Osbourne. Is like the best thing you can say is, well, you could understand what he was saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best you're gonna get with Ozzy. So, I thought that worked out really well. I thought, and there are a couple songs I would drop from it. Actually, that we were talking about Methodemic and Peace of Mind, Pariah. Those were bonus tracks. I feel like they should have just been on the album because I thought those songs were pretty good. Whereas I would have cut Zeitgeist, Age of Reason, and Live Forever. But everything else on the album, I think, is really, really strong material. And especially my favorite of it is "Damaged Soul," where they bring out the harmonica and they really go back to that those blues roots that they've always had. And Black Sabbath, I mean, honestly, they started off as more of a blues band than anything else. They were just heavier, and I think that's where they really excel because when they try to do like the really cliche like metal thing, try to live up to that reputation, it doesn't work out so well. But when they really go just hardcore blues on you with that song and the harmonica, I think it just works perfectly. That's my favorite song on the record, and that is what I would say makes it work. And there's other good ones too, but that one is just really great. Perfect.
Sure.
Black Sabbath.
And my issue though was I felt like every song was the same pace. Like there was no dynamic range to the tracks, and I was like, it was just very sluggish and slow and just kind of trottled along. And I'm like, oh, like the end, like Dear Father, it started kicking. I'm like, oh, all right, we're getting somewhere. And I'm like, oh wait, the album ended.
Thanks, Rick Rubin.
Well, like Pariah is a more upbeat thing. Loner is a little bit more upbeat. And then there's the part in God is Dead where it really kind of speeds up.
Well, yeah, a little bit. I don't know, what'd you think of the musical quality of 13 besides Rick Rubin screwed up the mastering?
I didn't really mind the pace the first two times I listened to it from beginning to end. I really, really enjoyed skipping around, though. That was my favorite part. But there are there's one song, I believe it was Age of Reason, that just like killed the entire album. It was like,
Yeah, that one sucked.
like, what were they thinking?
I'll admit I had moments where I liked this album. I think when it would get into guitar solos, it would kind of kick off and do some good stuff, but overall I was bored. I wouldn't say I was bored though, because I was having a good time laughing at it. And like anytime Ozzy would say something, I was like, what? So I guess in that regard, I can't say I totally hated the experience, because I did have a fun time listening to it, just not probably in the way they intended. And now I'm probably going to be assassinated by some rabid Black Sabbath fan that...
They are really like hardcore about this band though. Like,
and then you have to be like,
totally.
defend those Dio years, and they're like, man, Elf is a great band. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll defend the Dio years too. I won't defend the Tony Martin shit, but the Ice-T collaboration is like fuck it. Like I'm not even gonna try to step
I
up for
mean,
that.
uh,
It's funny because the guy that runs the Black Sabbath fan site has stood up and like tried to defend that album with Ice-T and shit. It's like his favorite later era Black Sabbath album, and he's always like arguing with people about it, and it's like, dude, no,
it's
come
like
on, it sucks.
when you have to defend the Billy Blaze years of Iron Maiden.
Oh God, I've done that too.
Hey,
'cause I
Man
like
on the
some of
Edge
that
is a
shit.
great song. I don't care what you say. Man on the Edge.
No,
Good. Yeah.
Sign of the Cross.
Apparently, you don't agree with
So
any.
you like Man on the Edge, but you don't like this album?
I did say I like the rest of that Iron Maiden album. I just like Man on the Edge. It's one song. It sounds like Meatloaf wailing around. It's like, hey, Man on the Holiday. Apparently sounds like Pearl Jam, but fuck it, whatever.
Hey, what do you guys think of the new
They
Pearl
put out a
Jam
new song? Oh.
Yeah, it's a big deal, like a surprise.
I know they're playing in Chicago soon. That's another fact I know.
No, they put out a song called "Mind Your Manners," and it's like really fast and like almost like punk. Strange.
To be fair, Pearl Jam's one of those bands that aside from the radio hits, I don't know really anything about.
They're not very good.
Well, I'll tell you this: just listen to their first album. It's perfect. It's one of my favorite albums ever. And then they kind of go to shit. Like everything else they did was not as good as their
Was
first
that the
album.
even flow?
Yeah, it had even
Heavy
flow,
flow?
and a wide.
That heavy. That's a different thing.
Oh.
That first album had all their good songs. Like every song you hear on the radio was from the first album, and then except for like Better Man and Daughter, but
So
those
why did
weren't
they
good
sell out
songs anyway.
stadiums then? I don't understand.
Just on the strength of that first
So Eddie
album.
Vedder can just get away with anything at this point?
Yeah. He wrote a song about a turtle. Yes. I believe he won an award for it.
And the Grammy goes to Eddie Vedder for that turtle song.
Oh, hang on more.
I have a turtle. Shelly snapping little Cletus. Look at that turtle go. I mean, it'd be about the same quality of lyrics as 13, but, well. So, I don't know. It sounds like, Corey, you would recommend 13 to Riff and Rock listeners.
I would definitely recommend it to anybody that likes Black Sabbath. I think that it's a strong comeback for this band, and especially like way stronger than I would have ever imagined. Because I really thought this was gonna suck. Like I thought that Black Sabbath getting back together with Ozzy, who has not made a good album in over 20 years, I figured it's definitely suck. But no, they exceeded all my expectations for it. So I would definitely recommend it to Sabbath fans.
What if you're just sort of a fan of heavy rock or metal, and you're at the Target and you see this album next to Taylor Swift's metal cover album? And, that doesn't exist, but
Not yet.
not yet. Would you say they should pick up 13, even if they're not like a Black Sabbath fan?
I would say if they're not a Black Sabbath fan, to go ahead and just grab one of their old ones, grab Paranoid or Volume 4, and just rock that shit out and like find out why people give a shit about the new one at all anyway. Because it's not like if this was their first record, anybody would give a shit.
No.
It's not that good. But
Ryan, what do you think of this other album Rick Rubin fucked up?
I like it. I think people should listen to it, but because Rick Rubin fucked it up so bad, make sure that you're listening to it through decent speakers, not your laptop speakers, because that'll
Probably blow them out.
suck.
I'll concede that you should still listen to it, even if it's just to have a laugh, like I did. I mean, I had a good chuckle, had a good time with it. I guess so in that ironic hipster douchey way, I'd say pick it up. I don't know anything about metal, so I don't know how this really falls into that genre. So sure, why not? You could wait. You could do worse things on a Saturday. like listen to Eddie Vedder's song about a turtle or Mumford and Sons.
Or go and see Grown Ups 2 in theater.
Says she's in love with him. Can't find a better man.
Can't find a better man. So we listen to another album. It's called Bosnian Rainbows.
We did.
So Bosnian Rainbows is an album featuring 4 people. One of them is Omar Rodriguez Lopez, who has been in such bands as the Mars Volta, At the Drive-In, Startled Calf, De Facto, basically everything. And he decided he wanted to make an 80s band. I'm kidding. He wanted to, well, you know. Grabbed his now girlfriend, Terry Genderbender, which seems to be his trend, is to hire his significant others. His go-to drummer, D'Anthony Parks, who plays drums and keyboards all at the same time, and a man who wears a hat named Nicky Casper, who worked with KRS-One, and he plays the synth bass. So, Ryan, what did you think of the self-titled album from Herzegovinian Thunderstorm?
I was I didn't know what to expect while listening to this album, and from the first minute, I knew what the rest of the 70 minutes were going to pan out to be.
48 minutes only.
And it really, wow. It's it reminded me a lot of that band called Portishead, where it's like slow, awful music.
Oh, you don't like Portishead?
Not a fan of Portishead. Sorry.
I do love Portishead. It's sad music.
It is sad.
It's sad music, but it's good sad music. So it doesn't sound like you were a fan of Croatian Sunshine.
I liked one song. The other ones were middle of the road. Nothing really stood out too much.
What song did you like?
The Turtleneck, I believe it was called. The 6-minute long one? Yeah, that one's good.
Okay. Corey, what did you think of Bosnian Rainbows?
I love it. I think it's a great record. And I was so against this record before it came out, and I hated the live videos from like last year, but it surprised me. So and they surprised me live too, because they've really stepped up from like last year. Like I watched the videos from last year, and I guess things hadn't been fleshed out yet. So when I went and saw them, and I saw them twice in 2 different cities, happened to be in 2 different cities, so I was like, okay, I'll see them again. And I don't know, they've really stepped up their sound a lot, and fleshed out the writing of the songs, and the album came out, and sounds a lot better than I expected.
Sure.
I really like it.
Yeah, I saw them live in February and pissed and moaned about it for 40 minutes in a podcast, which I've subsequently deleted because I'm like, this is even more stupid by my standards. No, they put on a good live show. The album overall, I think it was good. I wouldn't really go much further than that, just because for every moment where I'm like, I thought was well done, there was a moment that kind of pulled me out of it. Mainly the vocals kind of pulled me out of the music, which I thought was entertaining. And then I guess sort of the technical trickery that's supposed to be very exciting live, which it is kind of cool to watch live, is very much lost in the studio version. So, for example, D'Anthony Parks, the drummer, playing drums and keyboard at the same time, I mean, that's not an easy task to do.
Probably think of Geddy Lee.
Geddy Lee, yeah.
Plays bass and like everything.
Yeah, so
all at
it's
once.
no difficult task. So major props for pulling that off. And but it doesn't really translate as to anything specifically exciting in recorded format, I guess, would be what I would say. Is again, super impressive, but at the same time, it doesn't come out when you're just listening to it. You're like, oh, this could have just been anyone hitting samples on a MacBook.
I thought, I mean, I don't know. Part of it is you heard as well as I did the recording of D'Anthony by himself doing that stuff, and I thought it really showed like a lot of what he was doing, and I thought that was really cool. I'm not sure you can hear that without hearing it isolated, but What I liked about this album is just that I'm a big fan of pop music in general, and I didn't really have the problems with the vocals that you did. I think that Terry's vocals. I wish she would quit calling herself Terry Genderbender because I think that's really stupid. Um, and she has a real name, so it's like really dumb. It's kind of embarrassing, like they're not a punk band. But aside from that, her vocals are really good to me. I think that she sounds really fantastic on some of the stuff, especially closing track, which I'm just crazy about. Mother Father Set Us Free. I love that song, and I feel like she sounds
Yeah.
amazing on it. Wow. Um, so I didn't really have any problems with this album in any points. There were songs that I like better than others, and some of them, I haven't really gone back to all that much. But I was really happy with
Sure.
it, overall.
I guess I would go back and say on her vocals. I don't know. Okay, maybe not specifically bad. It's just I think compared to everything else, it just didn't feel as polished. For those of you who don't know, she was in a punk band previously, Le Boucherettes, where her vocals I thought they fit that style of music very well, very powerful, very projective. Here, it didn't sound like she had kind of really nailed her presentation of them. And maybe in the future it'll be a lot stronger, but for this time around, I guess maybe more of a mixed reaction. Certain songs, I think like Mother Father Says Free, worked well. Certain songs like Dig Right In Me, I thought it was kind of just fell very flat. I mean, I will never forgive the lyric, "You kissed my brown eye."
Ugh.
Pretty bad.
Let's play a clip.
Sounds like something
Yeah, it does
Ethan
sound like
Butler wrote.
"You kissed my brown eye." So yeah.
Why do you hate
Why do
them?
I hate? I don't hate them. I mean, again, bearing in mind, I was such a Volta fan that I do have a little bit of a make a little fuss over it. But as a band as a whole, I mean, again, I saw them live thoroughly and had a good time with it. It was always just sort of that this band is good. It's not as good as some of the previous acts all of these people have been in.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I don't think it's as good as Mars Volta or At the Drive-In. There's some really good songs on it, and it kind of like satisfied me just in general. Like, I've got a couple of good songs to play, and if that's what's going to be going on now, I guess with the guys from Volta and stuff, I can live with that because I mean, there are songs on here that I've been giving probably as much play as I gave anything on
Sure.
Nocturnicate.
He's
So
to listen to that album.
You're suspiciously quite right about Bosnian Rainbows.
I mean, it was a good album, but I mean that's about it.
Nothing was striking in any way or the other.
No, I mean the setup sounds like it would be cool to see live, but I don't know. It lost. Like I got lost. I'll listen to it. It was just something. I mean, it was nice. It was a good Portishead album.
Oh, come on.
No, I disagree. I think that Portishead has done like every album.
The only
by
Portishead album
is
I've
way
actually
better than
really
this one.
digested is Third, and I can say that's one of the most exciting things I've ever listened to. Horribly depressing, but depression done so well. It's not
I
like
fucking hate that album.
it's not like Throbbing Gristle where it's depression
Oh my
done
God.
in some mortifying, terrible way, where it just makes you be depressed.
I think that's a beautiful album. But Dummy for me is the one that does it. It's just amazing to me. Glory Box is such an amazing song. It's got to be one of the best songs I've ever heard.
Well, no, it's not the fact that it's sad. It's the fact that it sounds like garbage.
Ah,
And not the band garbage. It sounds like human waste.
oh,
Oh shit!
But this is a good album if you're into that. I'd recommend it to really anybody, like people that like ambient music. They would like people that are into like female singer-songwriters, people that are into jam bands, everybody. Except for me.
except for you because you can't appreciate the beauty that is Portishead.
It's not about Portishead.
This album is completely about Portishead now.
I would recommend it to probably anybody that's getting in on this like new wave revival indie rock thing that's going on. Like, you know, all these different bands that are starting to use synths now, and like, you know, go to pitchfork.com. There's a million of them, and I think that if you like that stuff, if you're into like Atlas, Genius, stuff like that, I think that this is the perfect album. I think people will love it. You know, especially like a song like Always on the Run, 2 minutes, just rocks a little bit. You know, it's got that synth thing going on. And I think that that's perfect. These people will love it if you're really into that stuff. Like Metric, I think you will love this album. If you're a really huge fan of like jammy, like rock, progressive rock, grandiose epics, then just forget about it. You know, progressive rock sound. It's sort of like when Genesis went, you know, pop. And I'm like Invisible Touch is one of my favorite albums ever.
Sorry, Ryan just gave like the most bizarre face in the
people-
world.
I'm totally not ashamed to admit that at all. I have no shame about it. It's an amazing album, but a lot of people hate it because they liked progressive rock Genesis, and this is basically the same thing. It's like Mars Volta fans will hate this, you know. But this is Invisible Touch for you know, Omar Rodriguez Lopez.
Good thing.
Or No Jacket, whatever, you know.
You know, I read a lot of reviews for this album because I was curious, and you know, most of what comes up is like Susie and the Banshees or Echo and the Bunnymen, not Genesis and Portishead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can hear those. You know, I can, especially Susie. I can hear that a lot. But you know, I mean, it's basically. I mean, no matter what you say,
This
it's
is
basically
part of that 80s
shit.
revival
Like,
sound. So if you were alive in the 80s and you liked Susie and the Banshees and Echo and the Bunnymen and a sad Blondie album, the Beastie Boys,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
that might be off. Then you're gonna like this. I think overall it's a good album. My gripes, I think, partially I have to keep in mind that I have a lot of implicit bias towards this based on the previous bands these guys have done. I mean, I really like Mars Volta. I like At the Drive-In. I really liked La Butcherettes. I was excited for a second album. I liked Kudu a lot. So seeing all those bands kind of just be gone for this was a little disappointing. But overall, it's a worthwhile listen in its own little vacuum. If this was existed on its own, like if these guys had done nothing else, yeah, I mean, pick it up. It's a worthwhile listen. They're touring now. I think it's a fun show. If you want to see a lead singer flail around like they're on meth,
That happens?
oh, it's wild. Terry just goes crazy.
thing. She does that horn thing where it's like she's running. I almost feel like she does it because of that song, On the Run. It's like she's running or something, or jogging. I don't know. But she moves her arms
when
like
I saw
that.
them,
It's
I was in
weird.
the like very front and center, and she kept sticking her butt in my face.
Oh yeah. Well, that reminds me of the first time I saw them. It was like Butcherette's opening for the Mars Volta. At South by 2011, and so like I saw that Omar was on the side of the stage, and obviously like that draws your attention. So I was like looking at him and like, you know, trying to
He was
see what
biting his lower lip,
doing, 'cause
going,
I'm a little fucking
"Yes."
creep like that. Well, so I guess she noticed I was in the front row, so I was like front row center. So she, you know, obviously would notice that I'm not looking at the band or even paying attention. So she like came down, like grabbed my hair and like started gyrating her crotch in my face, and like she's wearing a dress, so she kind of put my head like almost up her dress, and then she like pulled back, and that's my story of Play Butcherettes. Like, I definitely got my attention again. I was like, okay, now I'm paying attention to the band again. So
Yeah, when I saw the Butcherettes, they opened for Omar in 2010 when it was the very miniature run, and she like ran across the stage and dusted everything for a while. Well, there was a drum solo.
Like with a feather duster?
Yeah, she literally had a feather duster and was going around to
I
like the
saw
bar
that.
and dusting the bartender and stuff, and it was zany.
That's messed up.
I like how your word for it is zany. Like, that's a good
It was
compliment
zany.
for a band.
She's so zany.
That's definitely what I would want my band to be, is zany.
Although it does seem a little Yoko-esque.
She's gotten that comparison, but she doesn't sound like garbage.
I like
I liked her when she
Yoko.
performed with Frank Zappa, and they put her in a bag because they were she was annoying them.
I think Yoko does good shit. The Flaming Lips.
I like something.
Oh, yeah, I don't like them
I've
either.
determined that The Terror is a good album. That time when they played a bunch of tape cassettes in a parking lot wasn't, that was a thing. I don't know why you would buy Zyreka on vinyl unless you love pissing lots of money on AV equipment.
That's such a
people
waste.
bought it,
I can't
though.
believe they actually put that out. Like, that's so stupid.
I had to help someone on
I
Record
know,
Store Day
it's
not
so
buy
dumb.
it. He was holding it and contemplating it, and I'm like, "Can I help you with this?" And he goes,
Oh.
"Sure." And I just put it back on the shelf and went, "There you go." He's like, "Well, what was that for?" I'm like, "Do you have 4 turntables?"
Oh,
He goes,
God.
"No." I'm like, "Then there's no point in this."
No point
No.
at all.
Oh God. So yeah.
Oh my god.
Good album. I think actually this is, I think, one of the few times all 3 albums we reviewed at some point we recommended them.
This one's, yeah.
You wouldn't really recommend this, would you?
I would, to people that weren't me.
None of us didn't recommend an album this time.
Yeah, you were happy to listen to all of them.
I think that the one of the things, the problem is also that she is going from like audiences of no one to bigger audiences, and she's got like, the whole of Omar's fans are now a part of her fan base, and it's kind of like a big shift. And that is, it reminds me of when I saw them, because when I stayed after the show, and I'd broken my wrist, so I had a cast on, so I was gonna get signed, and like I asked her to sign it, and she freaked out about it. She was like, because apparently like nobody talks to her, like, it's all about Omar. It's all about like everybody. So for her, that was like a really big deal, and like she talked to me for like 15 minutes and was like really excited that I was a fan and stuff, and I'd seen like Butcherettes before and stuff like that, and I feel like she is still at a stage where she's not. It's almost like when you become famous overnight, and so she's got to cope with that now. So that kind of sucks for her, but it also puts a lot of pressure on her to deliver a lot more. So
She's got Jeff Mangum syndrome.
yeah.
He's been dealing with that for like, what,
And
8 years?
she's gonna go live in the woods for the next 12 years. And not do.
But now Neutral Milk Hotel reformed, and they're touring just to play In the Airplane Over the Sea again.
I mean, we'll see.
Ryan, do you not like Neutral Milk Hotel either?
No, I love Neutral Milk Hotel. It's just that I think that they got back together because they lost a bet with Ben Gibbard, because he said that Postal Service was getting back together, and if that ever happened, that Neutral Milk Hotel would have to get back together and perform their one album.
So basically, Ben Gibbard and Jeff Mangum were having a conversation, and they're like, "Hey, you know what? If you get back together, we'll get back together."
Yeah, well, that'll never happen.
And then Ben Gibbard's like, "Hey, we're back together." And Jeff's like, "Damn it!
Yep.
I have to play that album again."
I think Jeff lost money somehow. he had a bad poker deal or
Jeff,
something.
you're out of money. What are you gonna do? I'll tour and play In the Airplane Over the Sea again. That'll give me some revenue.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, I've always said, like, why even bother? Like, he created such a big album and made so much money off of it. It's like, why bother doing anything ever again?
I doubt he made that much money over it, because I mean, it was an indie album. I can't imagine there was a lot of profit there.
I bought it. Everybody I know has owned it at some
I own a copy of it.
I don't own a copy of it.
Why not, man?
I don't know.
It's a good album.
Yeah, but anytime I see it at a record store, it's like $300 now,
And there's a reason for that.
because
I got it for like 20 a while ago, but I sold it.
But it's like, it's the same thing with Pinkerton. It's like, you can't buy Pinkerton unless you buy the Super Omega Ultra Deluxe box set and give Weezer $100.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want Pinkerton. I don't want the 60 tracks that you scrapped and what's that guy's name again? I don't even remember his name. Yeah, I don't want Rivers Cuomo's diary about how much he hates Pinkerton included as a special gift or whatever.
You just want to listen to Pink Triangle in peace.
Yeah, I want to listen to El Scorcho and be happy. I don't need everything else involved with it.
Exactly.
Ah, fucking hell.
I fucking hate Rivers Cuomo though, because he does that shit, and he's like written bad album after bad album for like 10 years, and it's really annoying.
He gets away with it too. He played at a shopping mall near our house.
It's like if Jeff Mangum had kept making albums and they all fucking sucked, but everybody just like they love him because of that one album. Like whenever I talk to people and they're like, "Oh, I love Weezer," and I'm like, "What do you like about them?" And that first 2 records, it's the first 2. They don't give a shit about anything else. It's been like 20 fucking years.
The Red album's pretty good.
Pork and Beans, yeah, that was great.
Hey, I liked some of the Green album. Like 8 of the 28 minutes.
Okay. I will cop. I really liked. If you're wondering if I want you to, I want you to.
Oh yeah, it's a good one. But I'm still conflicted about Maladroit. I'm still in the middle around that goddamn fucking review. I can't tell if it's good or not.
It's not. Just trust me.
What do you guys think of the Weezer cruise?
The fuck is the Weezer cruise?
They're doing a cruise February 13th to the 17th next year from Florida to the Bahamas. It's going to feature Weezer, Cat Power, Toro y Moi, Dive, The Cribs. Holy fuck.
They've done it before, and they had Dinosaur Jr. on.
Ozma.
I was like, this is the best fucking thing in the world. I would do that.
Ozma's a Weezer ripoff band.
And there'll be a private island beach party in concert.
What?
R. Kelly was supposed to do a cruise. That would be the one I would want to go
The
on.
R. Kelly / Weezer cruise? That's so great.
I'd be worried about being peed on.
All right, guys. We're gonna
It'll be like that boat where the fucking shit got all over everybody.
You're allowed to poop off the boat because the boat broke down.
Yeah.
That'd just be the R. Kelly boat. You just get peed on even if the boat's moving.
Is the boat broken? No, this is just what I do.
It'd be better than the Kanye West boat where the boat wouldn't even move, but you'd spend $3,000 just to go on a boat.
Did you see the
You'd be like, this is genius!
You see the Kanye West t-shirt?
Yeah, I did. Ryan, did you see the Kanye West t-shirt?
I saw his t-shirt.
Well,
Can't believe
technically
somebody
the name
bought
of it
that.
is
They sold out.
hip hop t-shirt.
Like, motherfucker, it's a white Fruit of the Loom t-shirt.
With his name etched into the neck.
You can get a 12-pack of that shit for $10.
When Riff and Rock takes off, we're going to make all sorts of clothing merchandise just like it.
We're gonna pull a lot of Kanye moves.